the pain like.
Hey guys, dearyoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at another image/persona that we see in the K-pop world, because I haven't done one of these videos for a little while now, and it's the perfect time of year for this one in particular. But instead of looking at individual idols, this time we'll be looking at the title more likely given to a whole group. We're going to be exploring the Summer Queens concept, what it means, who holds this title, and why it's so desired, but also the potential issues that could come with it. So let's jump right into it by looking at what the title of Summer Queens means, because some people might not have heard of this before. The term Summer Queens is one which has been coined by K-pop fans and given to girl groups who are renowned for releasing music around the summertime period that perfectly encapsulates that summer vibe, as simple as it sounds. There are many key factors which all come together to help Summer Queens maintain this image. So let's start ourselves a list, because this is going to be very important for today's video if we're going to understand what makes Summer Queens the queens that they are, and how other groups can replicate this image if they wanted to. The songs. These songs artists release around this time are typically very catchy, upbeat, super energetic to get you into that summer spirit. But that's not all. Sometimes we end up with a sound that may be a bit more sexy or sultry, because the group is able to play on that cheeky, more suggestive side of things that have the same positive connotations as good summer vibes, such as a summer love or romance. The music videos. Music videos may feature scenes with beautiful blue skies, on the beach, by the pool, featuring the girls on a holiday where everybody seems to be having a really good time. That's an important part of it. Alternatively, music videos could cleverly also be appealing to that more sexy side again, to coincide with the choice to go for a more flirty summer song, rather than all of the fun in the sun and beach balls sort of thing. And lastly, choreography and fashion. These also play a significant role in solidifying the Summer Queens image for a group. The dance moves accompanying the songs will always match the energy of the song, and the outfits really give you that summer vibe. They're always really pretty, sometimes like floaty dresses, or like beach and pool wear, such as bikinis, shorts, crop tops. You get the vibe. Before we explore examples, or maybe just example, of who these Summer Queens are in K-pop that we speak of, why would a group want this title? In my past persona videos, we've explored specific images that a group member may want to stand out in their group or give fans something to remember them by, but why would a group want to put their entire image and concept into a box that is representative by one time of year? A niche of any form is definitely good in the K-pop world, where things move so quickly. Anything that you can establish as yours is better than being another group who gets lost in the crowd. And well, there's just something about being associated with something that has such good vibes in particular of all things, which is a very big honor when you think about it. Summer is a time of year where people's spirits are expected to be the highest, along with good weather and good times. So being known as the group who embodies that good, fun summer vibe could also increase a group's marketability and overall brand image of them in the public's perception. Summer itself is extremely marketable, so songs catering towards that time of year are definitely going to be well received and could lead to other opportunities too. Now that we're all very familiar with the meaning of this persona, let's look into the groups, or well, group who quite literally own this concept. Sistar. Whereas I think for most other images or concepts in K-pop, you could argue a few groups embody them the best, but I think it's perhaps one of the only ones here where it would not be up for debate, and most people would agree that the original Summer Queens are them. Sistar are a 4-member girl group who debuted under Starship Entertainment in 2010. During their most active years, Sistar really attracted a lot of attention for not just their talent, but also their super fun, catchy music. Although Sistar's earlier releases were doing well, it wasn't until the girls released their summer special album in June 2012 with the lead single Lovin' You, where their journey to the title of Summer Queens properly began. The song was sweet, but also still upbeat and summery rather than just cutesy. The following year, in June 2013, when Sistar came back with Give It To Me, which although released in summer, did not feature the girls on the the beach or in an open-top car driving down the highway in the wind. This music video was to be a much more sexy and sultry one, with the girls all in red and black, kind of like a Moulin Rouge concept. Fast forward to July 2014, and Sistar came back with the mini album Touch and Move, which gave us arguably what I think would be the group's most popular summer release, Touch My Body. This is the point where I personally think people started to pay attention and realized that year upon year, Sistar was serving pure summer vibes by coming back around June, July with either a song or image, or sometimes both, that got you into that summer mood. And whether or not the label intended to do this in the beginning, I don't know, but they certainly seem to have caught on by this point. Just 1 month later, in August 2014, Sistar came back with a summer special album titled Sweet and Sour, with the lead track I Swear, again giving us fun summer vibes with the girls either dancing at the beach, dressed in shorts and crop tops, or playing around in the pool and at a car wash, the sorts of fun activities that people associate with summer. Moving on to the following year, and we're back in June, but this time 2015, where Sistar came back with their mini album Shake It and title track of the same name. The music video for this one was actually seemingly set in like a school setting, which I know may be the polar opposite of what you associate with summer music videos, because school is usually out during that time of year, but they stuck to that fun, upbeat Sistar sort of vibe that we grew to expect from them, with cute outfits and a catchy choreography. Okay, last one, I promise. In June 2016, Sistar came back with their mini album Insane Love, with the title track I Like That. Now again, this might not be another one where those summer vibes are immediately obvious just from looking at the MV, but this music video is most reminiscent of that sort of vibe the girls were going for when they released Give It To Me back in 2013. There's more depth with the reds and darker tones, and there's more focus on that sultry vibe that's meant to allure and capture the viewer. As you can imagine, coming back with a total of 6 songs during a 4 summers period is what helped Sistar gain their title of the Summer Queens, because before them, there didn't really seem to be any other K-pop girl groups who were doing this. They kind of invented something that was unique to them and their spot in the market. This leads me to our next question. Have we had any other summer queens live up to Sistar's reputation since they sort of birthed this image? Well, I would argue no. Not officially anyway, but it's not through lack of trying. I do believe that we have had many attempts by K-pop girl groups to release some summery tracks, of course, and fans have excitedly hoped that we would see another group take the crown of summer queens. But I don't think we're quite there yet. So let's take a look at a few of these examples of people who have tried to maybe go for a bit of a summery concept, and where fans have tried to label them summer queens, but they have ultimately perhaps failed to achieve this goal. One of the first examples I thought of was Twice, who actually released a few summer releases over the course of a few summers, similarly to Sistar. Twice released Dance the Night Away in 2018, More and More in June 2020, Alcohol Free in 2021, and all of these songs have the typical makeups of a summer release that we are used to seeing from groups like Sistar, with the catchy, fun songs and choreography, and summery, aesthetically pleasing music videos. So why weren't Twice able to take the crown of summer queens when they were releasing so many summer songs? Well, where Sistar only seem to be coming back around the summertime every year, I'm sure we're all very aware of how active JYP Entertainment has had Twice over the years, and the group have not been just coming back in the summertime. The group released Dance the Night Away in July 2018 as part of their Summer Nights repackaged album, but the girls' next Korean release was only in November of the same year, just 4 months later, with the mini album and title track Yes or Yes, which of course did not follow a similar aesthetic. The group's next summer release was in June 2020 with More and More, like we already touched upon, but the group were not sitting around and waiting for summer during this time. They had numerous Korean and Japanese releases, which did not follow any sort of summer style in the meantime, and the exact same applies until the girls released another summer song that embodied that vibe in 2021. Therefore, because Twice were not just releasing only summer music, it was hard for fans to pin them as summer queens, because this is not the only thing they were known for. We were more used to seeing them come back every few months, whether it be in Korean or Japanese, with different styles and concepts. We weren't necessarily expecting them to try and keep this summer queens title. And thanks to this situation, we can also add consistency to the list of staples that are key factors of the summer queens image we started to outline earlier. Another example of a group who fans considered handing the title of summer queens over to that unfortunately missed the mark mark is Red Velvet. Red Velvet released their mini album The Red Summer in July 2017 with the title track Red Flavor, and mini album Summer Magic in August 2018 with the title track Power Up. Both songs which had really bright and colourful music videos and a really bright, fun, energetic song to go with. Fast forward to June 2019 where the girls released their mini album The Revet Festival Day 1. I hope I said that right. And its title track Zimzalabim. And would you believe me if I said this also counts as a summer release? The song, although it divided opinions, I definitely believe could have been classified as a sort of fun summery vibe with those crazy colourful music videos and outfits to accompany it. The girls were then back again at the other end of summer in August 2019 with the Revet Festival Day 2 mini album and its title track Oompa Oompa, which cleverly played with the idea of a summer concept in the music video in a way that was so perfectly quintessentially Red Velvet in its style. However, as many of us know, although for quite some time it seemed that Red Velvet were only on an upwards trajectory of regular successful comebacks, the gaps between comebacks became bigger and bigger over time. And after the group's comeback in December 2019, they were not seen of again until August 2021. Much like Twice, it's not exactly like the girls were ever aiming for the title of Summer Queens, but fans were definitely disappointed to find out they would not be able to give it to them during this time. Because although Red Velvet were still actively releasing music then and are now, I'm afraid their train to the title of Summer Queens has officially left the station without them. Because if there's one thing that Sistar taught us, it's that those summer comebacks need to be much more frequent in order to solidify this as your title, something which we can again add to our list of key factors of the Summer Queens title. On a very similar note, one more group who fans have tried to hand over the Summer Queens title to is Brave Girls, now known as BB Girls. But unlike Twice and Red Velvet, who we just confirmed weren't necessarily looking for this title, BB Girls kind of declared themselves that they were going to be Summer Queens, literally kind of stating that in the beginning of their June 2021 mini album Summer Queen with its title track Chima Badam. It was definitely a fun summery song with a catchy beat and lyrics and choreography and a music video set on the beach, things that are perfect for any summer song. Unfortunately for BB Girls, I don't think luck was ever really on their side except for that one time where Rolling took off years after its release. And because this summer song was released just after their sudden virality, fans were expecting a lot from the release we now know as Chima Badam. Unfortunately, because it didn't really receive the same buzz as Rolling, the girls' attempt at becoming Summer Queens was kind of over before it fully started. I also personally don't think it helped that the label tried to make them give the title of Summer Queens to themselves, because it seemed to lack authenticity, and nobody likes to see when there's too much of an attempt to make something work. We're more likely to disregard it, if that makes sense. Like, that's just kind of the way the human brain works. Whereas in every other example we've looked at, the group either got the title through pure accident and then gained it through consistent summer releases, or there was an attempt to give them the Summer Queens title from a fan base. Therefore, I think this allows us to add authenticity as another key staple that needs to be applied to the Summer Queens image. So all of these groups have been missing the mark. Why? Although there have been many girl groups who have tried their hand at releasing some summer bangers, there always seems to be something missing from our key factors list. It's never usually the colourful music videos and fun choreography, that's always a given, but some girl groups releasing summery music and not releasing music in this style consistently, such as Twice, so why would fans give them this title exclusively? Some groups have been coming back with summer songs, but not often enough, such as Red Velvet, so why would fans call you Summer Queens when they can't guarantee we'd get a summer release this year, or any release at all in some cases? I'm so sorry, don't come for me for that was out of pocket. Some groups have tried to crown themselves the new Summer Queens by literally asking fans to call them that, aka BB Girls, but why would fans do this when they just don't see evidence that the title should be yours in more than just one release? This is why I keep referring back to that list of key factors that makes up the Summer Queens persona, because we can think of it like an ingredients list in a recipe. That list is there for a reason, and you need to have all of the ingredients in order to perfect the recipe. You can try to create the same dish with a few of the ingredients missing, missing, but you can't guarantee you'll get the same final product or anything that's worth writing home about at all. And I think this is the issue every K-pop girl group has had besides Sistar when trying to become summer queens. Sistar always had the summery songs, music videos, choreography and fashion, which were always a mixture of fun, girly, sexy, everything that you would expect at the same time. But they also had all those other key factors which matter just as much but may get overlooked, which are consistent releases of the same theme, frequency of summer releases year by year, and authenticity with their image. It didn't seem like they were trying too hard to embody this summer queen's image, they just were it, and they were it to perfection. Every other attempt we have seen seems to teeter somewhere along the line, where no matter what, there always seems to be just one of these aspects missing, which is a shame, but also why I think we have struggled so hard to find a replacement for the summer queens. Okay, so now we've looked at why people would want the image, who has it, who's tried to have it. We need to look at something that we've explored in all my other persona videos, and that is the issues that would come with having this image if anybody was able to claim it as theirs in future. First of all, high expectations. Like we said earlier, summer is a time of year that for a lot of people is associated with a good feeling. The vibes are immaculate, the sun is shining, and you're spending time with your favorite people, making memories that you'll treasure forever with the perfect backing track playing throughout these memories. However, being the sound of people's summer does come with a huge responsibility and expectation to deliver something that people will enjoy year after year, which is not an easy feat by any means. And the fact that Sistar managed to do that consistently for 4 years is impressive when you know how quickly trends can change. If you release one incredible song one summer, fans will be expecting something of a similar caliber every year. If the next song you release the following year isn't quite up to fans' expectations, then you will know about it because fans will express their dissatisfaction. I've said this before, but one of the worst things that we can do as fans is put our own expectations incredibly high because we are responsible for our own disappointment when they are not met. Another issue with the Summer Queens title that we will have in future is the constant comparisons to predecessors. I think we would struggle to give anybody the Summer Queens title to begin with because, like we already touched upon, groups always seem to miss that mark or one aspect fully required to embody this title. But let's just say, for argument's sake, a group does manage to rightfully earn the title of Summer Queens because the OG owners of the Summer Queens title, Sistar, were so incredible at holding this title and owning it so well. I do genuinely think that any group who comes close to the title of Summer Queens will struggle with the constant comparison to what Sistar did during their time as the reigning Summer Queens. It would kind of become a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a testament to Sistar's lasting impact, but on the other hand, it means that any group who wants to come close to owning this style would face so much pressure to not only meet but exceed expectations that have already been set. Fans would be more likely to scrutinize any release with a sense of nostalgia towards what we had in the past, which wouldn't necessarily be fair to new groups trying to establish themselves now. And one third issue we can address with the Summer Queens image is the potential restrictions it could have on a group and their image. In order to maintain the title of Summer Queens, Sistar did consistently have to only come back during the summer months for a period of about 4 years, which, as we have seen from the current K-pop landscape, is almost like a whole generation. Therefore, in order to keep the title of Summer Queens, a group with this title would have to also strictly only release summer songs, or else this title would be very easily lost or not fully solidified, like the example we looked at earlier with Twice. Groups would likely kind of feel like they have to keep themselves boxed into a very specific sound and style, and it could be very difficult to release new music in a similar style every year that doesn't sound too samey or predictable and still manages to gain the same sort of good reception and reaction from fans. At the end of the day, companies want to sell albums and rank high in streams and charts and all that stuff, but if a group is releasing very similar and samey music every year, how long before people lose interest in them as a group? Okay, conclusion time. Let's close out with my thoughts on the Summer Queens image as we move forward. Personally, while I appreciate people's attempts to find us the new reigning Summer Queens every year, I do think we struggle to find a replacement for Sistar in this particular position, and that's okay. And that isn't even just a reflection on the groups we currently have in the K-pop world and the music they're putting out there. There is every chance that a group could come along and follow every single important factor we highlight highlighted on our list, but they still would not be able to reach the title that Sistar set out for themselves. And I think that's partially because Sistar are the legacy and will always compare any replicates to the original. But more importantly, I think we have to acknowledge that the K-pop world is just different now than when Sistar were around. The current K-pop environment moves much faster than it did in Sistar's day, because when the girls were coming back once a year with a summer bop, there were a major focus on boy groups in the third gen. Now in the fourth and fifth generation of K-pop, where we are now, we're moving through generations so much faster, and there seems to be so many girl groups debuting all the time, so fans can move on to the next group and music faster. Back when Sistar were coming back once a year with a summer song or two, fans were happy to sit back and wait for them, and would still call them the summer queens when they came back. Whereas nowadays, I do think that if we had a K-pop group who only came back once a year in June or July with a summery song, I don't necessarily think anybody would consider them summer queens. There's a likelihood that fans would actually move on to somebody else rather than waiting around for the group to come back once a year, and would kind of just forget about them, and they would never be able to reach the fame required for a long enough career to earn the title. And I'm not too sure fans would care enough to notice. I'm sorry, it may sound harsh, but in a way, I'd like to look at this from the perspective of how impressive it was that Sistar were able to solidify a title for themselves during the right time, in a way that was so iconic that no other girl group has held it before or could probably do so in the same way ever since. They of course wouldn't have been to know at the time that the K-pop landscape would change in future, and that they would kind of solidify themselves a title that anyone would struggle to replicate. Okay guys, and that was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. I really wanted to do some research into the Summer Queens title and what was so special about Sistar's active time that others haven't been quite able to replicate, because there had to be a reason behind it. And now I know I'm happy, but I hope this was somewhat interesting for you guys too. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think there will ever be another girl group who takes the title of Summer Queens, or should we start coming up with new titles? If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button to be the first to hear whenever I upload, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!